Hello everyone, I'm Debbie Polachek. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a DIY tool that I made for card making, and it's very simple to make. And I also was going to show you a little Valentine card and it has a few techniques in there that I thought you might like to see. And I also will show you how to put the little tool together that we'll make. It's a T-square along with the center finder. And I'll make it out of chipboard. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to show you how I made it. First of all, I started off with 2 scraps of leftover chipboard, and this is 1 inch wide, and mine is 6.5 inches long, and this piece right here is 1 inch wide, and it's 4 3/4 inch long. Laid one along my grid of my paper here, along this way, and then I laid the other one across this way and made sure that it was even with the grid when I glued it together. So I just put some glue and held it down and glued it together. Okay, and another thing I did with it, I'll flip it over and show you because I'm not going to do it all over again, but I'm going to show you. But I took it and put it on my grid paper, and I marked, okay, I didn't know this was the center, so let me do it over this side. I marked, since this is 1 inch wide, it goes right in between those two things of that grid. So I know this is my center point right here. And then I just marked every 1/4 inch apart, all the way across, all the way down. And the same here, I marked every 1/4 inch across this way and this way, and then I numbered them 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and the reasons this could be good for is to make okay, let's say you're making a tag that's 2 inches wide. Let me cut a piece. This is just regular copy paper here, but I'm gonna go ahead and turn those lights on better. Okay, so let's say you want to, before you could do an angle like a 45-degree angle by putting this right in the middle of that square there and putting this at 2 and this at 2. This point at 2, and you could cut that off with a pair of scissors. You would probably want to mark it along with this to make sure it's straight. And then you could hold this other side and do the same thing. Or you might want to do one side long and the other side short. So you could do, let's say 2 and 5, and then cut it at that angle. And by it being on both sides, you would just do it to this side and do the same thing, 2 and 5. Then you would have a tag at that angle. Okay. Now, on my stamp here, I put the Valentine stamp on here, and I want to, again, line it up with my grid paper so it looks like it's straight. Now, I'll take my stamp and stamp it here. Make sure it's square with this. And I can look on the lines and see how straight it is. That looks like it's fairly straight. It might be just a touch crooked, but I don't think it's enough that anybody would notice. And then you can take that, mark the center of your, like you're making a tag here, Let me go ahead and do that. Was that 2 and 5? So it'll look a little bit better. I want to find the center of this. So I can see if I look 2 to 2, then that's pretty even. This is the center point right here. I also have the center. I lined this, found the center of my stamp, and have a mark here on the back, so I'll know that this is the center of that stamp. So now I can line this up with the center. I need to move that down because that stamp's a little bit too big. But that's good for the hole right there. Okay, again, now this I need to lay on my paper so I can make sure that this lines up with my block. This is lining up straight with my block, and this is in the center of the paper that I had marked. So that should be pretty straight. Okay, so that's how you can use it. Now to do the center of this, how did I found the center of this? Well, how did I do that? Okay, I put this on my grid paper. I put this, I marked this, and this is where the letters end and begin. Got my center finder on those marks, so that's, this mark is on 3.5, this mark's on 3 1/4, so I need to move it over just a touch. Now I know that this is the center of my stamp right here. So now I can take that mark and move it all the way over to this side and then this side. Okay. Now, okay, I want to show you another thing that you can do. You take your, let's say you want to put your deal right in the middle, and you want it to be sure it not be cockeyed, you want it to be straight, so you go ahead and make your mark. You find your center of this. This is 8, and this is 8, so I know that this is the center. Find the center of this little card that I just embossed with gold, and so this is at 3.5, and this is at 3.5, so this is the center with a pencil. So I know that this is the center right there, and to make sure that it's level, because it still could be crooked, you want to make sure it's level. You put your T right on that paper, the edge of this paper. Let me put this underneath here. On the edge of this paper, so you know, okay, there's the center. There's my center of this and my center of that. My T's right here on the edge of this. So this needs to be pushed over just a bit when I glue it down in there. So that would be my center of my paper. So that's another tip that you can use with your T-square. For my Valentine card, I was just going to show you. As you can see, I used this folder, embossing folder. It's beautiful. It's called Paris and Flourish. It's in our new celebration catalog. I have a whole lot of these catalogs. I sure wish somebody would order for me so I can send out some catalogs. I would appreciate it so much. And this is from the older catalog, the big catalog. It's carried on for last year, and this is the stamp set that comes with this die set, Be Mine Stitch die, and I use many of those dies to make this card. And the technique I want to show you, if you notice, is this little bit of paper that's behind there. It's all ruffled up in there, And it actually looks kind of like fabric the way it looks. And how I did that, you take a piece of paper and you just mist it very lightly. Now this is just regular old typing paper, computer paper. And you just start ruffling it up with your hands like this. And this is going to be a little bit blue because this blue ink is on my hand. And you take two pieces that are about 2 inches to make that size. You would measure whatever size shape that you're going inside. Like you wanted to go inside of this heart right here, you would take and you would want it to go on the outside here to here, let's say 5 inches. So you need a piece of paper half of that, so that'd be 2.5 inch piece of paper, wide paper, to fill up that area there. And for this little one, I used 2 strips of about this one was like almost 2 inches because the heart was a little bit smaller. And you just do that. You don't want to get too much water or your paper will disintegrate right here in your hands. So just a very misting of the water. And you just keep doing that. And then you would take your rubber mat and you do the dab of glue. I'll leave a link to another thing that's real similar to this. They're called rosettes. But this is, of course, a rosette, but it's not perfect. It's a very rough looking one. And you would do your glue in the middle and do it the same way. You would have 2 parts. Then after I did it, you let it dry, and then you run it through your Big Shot and make it real flat. And then you can glue it behind there, and I put that other stuff in front of it. So anyway, I thought that was, I like white on white, and that embossing folder is beautiful. So go ahead and give that a try. Thank you for stopping by. Bye-bye.